Welcome back, everybody. Today is going to be, I believe it's my third cookie recipe. I've had 2 candy recipes, so this is the 5th Christmas recipe. Today we're going to do a very, very simple, it's a version of a sugar cookie, but it's made with sweetened condensed milk. And that's going to give it a little bit of the sweetness and bring it together. This one actually doesn't even have eggs in it. So what I've done here, I've got 2 cups of flour already in here. I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of baking powder in there and a 3/4 teaspoon of salt. You don't have to try to keep up. I'm going to put all the directions and ingredients down in the comments for you. So just mix this up. We're going to have all our dry ingredients together and ready. And in this bowl, I've got 2 sticks, and this is what makes it good. 2 sticks, full sticks of softened butter. We're going to add in 1 cup of the 14 ounces of the sweetened condensed milk. Don't throw this out because we're going to use it for the frosting. So we're going to get all this in here. Make sure you get every drop. I could eat this stuff with a spoon. I do eat it with a spoon or my finger. This stuff you just don't want to waste. There we go. I gotta get off the spatula. Sorry about the noise. And to this, I'm going to add about a 1/2 cup of sugar. You can make it without the sugar if you like them more of a biscuit texture and not as sweet. It's Christmas, I like mine a little more sweet. So I add another 1/2 cup of sugar into it just to give it the sweetness. I've made it before with the other. It did come out a little more like a biscuit than a cookie, and it wasn't as sweet. So we're just gonna bring all this together, cream together the sugar, the butter, and the sweetened condensed milk. Once we get this, we're gonna add in the flour, and you have to put this in the refrigerator for about an hour to tighten up, because this butter, if you put it in right away and start making the cookies, it's just gonna melt and they're gonna spread all over the pan. So like most of my Christmas cookies I think I've done, you do have to refrigerate the batter. This one, probably about an hour. I don't know if I can do this with a spatula or a whisk. I usually use my mixer, but you can't see what I'm doing in the mixer bowl as easy. So I thought I'd try it this way. So sorry for the noise if I get in here. All right, so it looks like it's pretty well together. I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon or so, maybe a little bit more. I like vanilla. This is my homemade vanilla. I always have to shake it. I started this last year. It's got like 7 vanilla beans in it and some vodka. Yeah, that looks good. Calls for about a teaspoon. Sometimes I put a little bit more. I do like the flavor of vanilla, especially in Christmas cookies. Okay, so we got that in. Let's add in about a 1/2 of our flour mixture. This might be where it's changed from the whisk, because if not, I'm just going to clog everything up in this whisk. Oop. So let's bring it all together here. I always do that anytime I'm working with flour. Biscuits, cake, cookies, anything. I have flour everywhere. This means I've been cooking. Okay, let's put the rest of it in. That's going to make a fairly tight batter, but like I said, if you put this in the oven right now, they're just going to spread all over the place. You're going to have real thin, spread out cookies. Okay, as much of that flour off the side as I can. Okay, so now we're going to put this in the refrigerator, let it sit for probably about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to check it till it firms up really good. We gotta get that butter that was at room temperature reset and hardened. There we go. So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator and I'll be back in about 45 minutes from now. See you then. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes. I'm always impatient. I never can wait. So let's just see how this turns out. So we're just going to use this is about 1.5 inch scoop. You want to do them with a scoop if you have one. That way you make sure all your cookies are the same size. If you have some that are small and some that are big, they're just going to cook at different rates. Your small ones are going to be burnt. Your big ones are going to be underdone. So it's always best just to use a scooper. I'm going to put 3 across and probably 4 rows. Put about a dozen on this sheet. Now, I'm going to try to do 2 sheets at a time. I put my racks together in the oven so they're close together. I might have to rotate them halfway through if the bottom ones are browning on the bottom a little bit faster and the top ones are browning a little more on top. This is just a version of my mom's sugar cookie recipe she used to make every year. We'd roll them out, we would use the little cutouts, make reindeers, Christmas trees, Santas, and then decorate them. That was some of the best times. I can remember we used to watch either Frosty or Rudolph, and Mom would, whatever night those were on, around 8 o'clock, then we'd do the cookies. She always had the cookies baked. Sometimes she'd have us work with her and cut them out, but most of the time when we were smaller, she always had them baked already. That way they're cool, because you do have to let these cool before you frost them. If you don't, the frosting's just, as you know, is just going to go all over the place. So I got about a dozen on this one, not about, I got exactly a dozen. Let's move these over and do a dozen on this sheet. And I didn't spray this at all. For one, these have 2 sticks of butter in it. Not much of a chance they're going to stick, but also I'm using the Silpat, so the cookies aren't going to stick to that. But if you don't have Silpat, use some parchment paper. You can spray it a little bit if you want. Probably wouldn't have to with all this butter content. So like I said, we're going to put these in the oven for about 12 to 15 minutes. I'll check them at 12. Whatever the lowest number is, I always check them then, because everybody's oven's going to cook differently. And some's going to cook a little hotter than what it reads, some a little bit less. So just check them in your oven about 12 minutes, see what they're coming out, and then you can adjust for the next batches. But these are not cooked at 350 like most of our baking. These are a little softer or lighter temperature, lesser temperature, 325. Just lets them cook a little bit slower so they're not real hard. Okay, so we got 2 dozen cookies ready to go in. These should flatten out pretty well and easy to decorate. If you want a flat top, some people like their cookies flat on top, you can push them down just a little bit. I'm just gonna let mine go on their own. So I'm gonna put both of these in. The oven's preheated. Put this one on the lower rack and this one on the upper. And we'll be back in about 12-15 minutes and see how they come out. We'll be back. Okay, so you can see I got all the cookies out of the oven. Made about 2 dozen, may have made a couple more. I may have eaten a couple. So we're just gonna go with the 2 dozen we have. So we're gonna use the remainder of our sweetened condensed milk, which is about 4 ounces because we used a cup out of it already. And get it all out of here. Like I said, we don't want to waste this. And just to recap, I baked the cookies at 325. It took about 14 minutes on each one. Of course, that was just my oven. So, like I said, check it at 11, 12 minutes on yours, just to make sure that it's done. Okay, so to the sweetened condensed milk, we're going to add a half of a block of Philadelphia cream cheese, or regular cream cheese, if you, whatever your store brand, whatever you like, that you're going to use. And make sure this is at room temperature so it mixes easily. So we're going to make kind of a cream cheese glaze that goes over these. And I need me a spoon. Let's see if I can do this with a spoon. And I'm also going to put just a little bit of vanilla flavoring in here. Homemade vanilla. Just going to bring this all together. Like I said, I usually use my stand mixer, but I didn't want to, I wanted you to be able to see what I'm doing, so it's easier this way. Now this isn't a big spreadable frosting. It's more of a little bit of a glaze. Depending on the consistency, it's going to change depending on your temperature, humidity. It's 80 degrees here now today in South Florida. So this is a little thin. I may add in a little bit of powdered sugar. I have it standing here ready, just waiting just in case. Let me get this out. Let's just try to get this all together. I'm going to adjust a little bit of powdered sugar. I'll start with about 2 tablespoons full. I need a little more, because this isn't going to set real well like normal frosting would unless you have the powdered sugar in here. The sweetened condensed milk and the cream cheese are going to stay soft. All right, that looks about right. So now, let me get me a little spatula. You're just going to cover the top, not real thick, because basically this frosting is just a vessel for all of the sprinkles we're going to put on here. So right now you just have a plain white cookie, not real Christmassy. I like to do maybe 6 of them at a time because I don't want the frosting glaze here to start setting on top, so I want to get some sprinkles on here. There we go. About 6 of them done. And then you can use whatever kind of sprinkles you want. I've got red and green sugar. I've got colorful small sprinkles, larger ones, some green and red. I have it on a cookie sheet. It's just going to make it easier for me to clean up for the ones that drop through that I don't get on the cookie, instead of them going all over the counter. So we'll do something like that. You can do some red and green. Like I said, whatever you want. This is where you bring the kids in. This is where it gets fun for the kids. So just go through and finish frosting all the cookies. Like I said, you just want a very thin layer. You don't want it real thick. And if you want to do like I do, do 6 at a time. Put some sprinkles on there. Or if you got the kids helping you, you stand here and frost them and ice them for them and just lay them out and let the kids go crazy with it. You can also, if you'd like to up it a little bit, you could use some crushed pecans. You could use some coconut, even dye the coconut red or green. You can do coconut with some of these sprinkles. I mean, this is just whatever you like, whatever your family likes. It's gonna be your little Christmas tradition you're gonna start. So have fun with it. I'm gonna go ahead and finish these off, show you what we got when we're done. Okay, there you go. We've got them all frosted or glazed, I really should say, because this is a really thin glazed frosting. So you don't want to put a lot on there because it is going to run. And see, I'm just changing it up, putting some different sprinkles on each one. So there's a little bit of a selection for your family and friends. So these are your condensed milk Christmas cookies with a condensed milk cream cheese glaze. Hope you enjoy them. Give them a try. Let me know down in the comments what you think of them. I'll also put the full recipe there. If you haven't already, I would appreciate if you could subscribe to my channel. It helps out a lot. Hit the little bell, and every time I put one of these recipes up, you'll be notified right away. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon with our next recipe.